It is time to reclaim the authority over your own life. Stop giving circumstances permission to dictate who you are. Stop surrendering your future to fear, to laziness, or to the opinions of others. Within you is the power to start again, to rebuild, to step forward even if your knees are trembling. The ground does not have to be steady before you walk. Your steps themselves will create the path. Do not underestimate what is inside of you. Greatness is not a gift for the select few. It is a seed planted in every human being. But seeds only grow when they are placed in the ground, watered, and exposed to the sun. In the same way, your vision will only grow when you act on it. Feed it with discipline and expose it to consistency. So rise now. Refuse to wait another day for life to change. Become the change. Take back your power and walk boldly into the future that is already waiting for you to claim it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Life will never align until you act. Time is moving forward, and change begins the moment you decide to rise. Your purpose cannot be fulfilled by excuses. Action is the only path to destiny. Reclaim your power by refusing to let circumstances, fear, or opinions control you. Greatness is already within you, but it can only grow through action, discipline, and consistency. Would you like me to also compress these into short, punchy one-liners like stage keynotes for a presentation slide? Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Life will never align until you act. Many people spend years, sometimes their entire lifetime, waiting for conditions to feel right before they step into what they are meant to do. They wait for more money, a clearer path, more support, or a stronger sense of confidence. They wait for the fear to subside, for the doubts to disappear, or for the approval of others to validate their choices. But what they do not realize is that waiting is a silent thief. Every second wasted in hesitation is a second subtracted from the opportunity to make progress. Life will never present you with a flawless set of conditions because perfection itself is an illusion. The longer you wait for it, the further away you drift from your true potential. Action has always been the foundation of change. No invention, no breakthrough, no great accomplishment in history ever came from someone waiting for the perfect timing. Those who changed the world did so in the midst of uncertainty, while facing opposition, while lacking resources, and often while doubting themselves. They moved anyway. They started with what they had and where they were. They understood a powerful truth. It is not the conditions around you that create progress. It is the decisions within you. Conditions will always shift. They will always challenge you, and they will never fully cooperate with your desires. But your decision to move forward in spite of them is what creates momentum. Waiting often disguises itself as wisdom. People say, "I'm just being patient," or "I'm waiting for the right time." But more often than not, what they are really practicing is fear dressed as caution. There is a difference between patience and procrastination. Patience is active preparation. It is what you do while you are moving toward your goal, sharpening your skills, building your character, and positioning yourself for the opportunities ahead. Procrastination is inactivity. It convinces you to remain still under the illusion that things will somehow improve on their own. Nothing improves on its own. A seed does not grow unless it is planted, watered, and cared for. A dream does not manifest unless it is acted upon, nurtured, and fought for. When you stop waiting for perfection and begin acting in faith, something remarkable happens. Your steps create clarity. Many people want clarity before they move, but clarity is born in movement. It is in the process of trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again that you begin to see the path clearer. Think of walking through a foggy road. You cannot see the entire way from the start, but as you take each step, the road directly in front of you reveals itself. That is how life works. The vision expands as you advance. But if you stand still, waiting for the fog to lift completely, you may never take the first step. The truth is, confidence also does not come before action. It comes after it. You do not wait until you feel ready to begin. You begin, and through the process, you grow into readiness. Every small step you take builds courage, strengthens your resilience, and prepares you for greater challenges. Waiting will never give you this gift, because waiting does not stretch you, it does not challenge you, it does not force you to grow. Only action has that power. Even failure, which so many fear, is far more valuable than waiting. Failure teaches lessons that waiting can never provide. Failure sharpens your wisdom, refines your methods, and strengthens your resolve. It is better to fail forward than to sit still and wither in regret. Regret is the heavy price of waiting, and it is far more painful than the temporary sting of failure. Regret whispers of what could have been, what might have happened, what you should have tried but didn't. Failure, on the other hand, speaks of what you learned, how you improved, and what you will conquer next. If you keep waiting for conditions to align, you will look back years later and realize conditions never truly aligned at all. There is no such thing as the perfect time, only the time you decide to make perfect through your actions. The resources you think you lack may only appear after you start. The opportunities you desire may only open once you demonstrate movement. The support you hope for may only come once people see your commitment to the vision. Life responds to movement. Doors open to those who knock, not to those who stand outside wondering if the handle will turn itself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There isn't one. The right time is now, the right place is where you are, and the right person is you. Perfection will never arrive, but progress can begin the instant you choose to act. Every great journey begins not with a perfect plan, but with a courageous step. And the step you take today may just be the one that unlocks the destiny you've been waiting for all along. Do you want me to expand the other 4 keynotes into the same kind of deep motivational essays, each 700 words? So you have a full series. Time is moving forward, and change begins the moment you decide to rise. Every tick of the clock is a silent reminder that life is passing, whether you are prepared for it or not. Time is one resource that cannot be paused, rewound, or saved for later use. It is constantly slipping through your hands, and once a moment is gone, it is gone forever. This truth should not create fear, but urgency. Too many people live as though they have an endless supply of days, waiting until tomorrow to act, waiting until the conditions feel better, waiting until someone else gives them permission. But tomorrow is never guaranteed, and every day wasted in hesitation is a day you will never get back. Change is not something that arrives magically from the outside. It is something you initiate from within. Life responds to your decisions, not your wishes. Wishing for a new life without deciding to build one is like standing at the edge of a field hoping for a harvest without ever planting a seed. The moment you decide to rise, to act, to take ownership of your choices, change begins. It may not be instant. The fruit of your decision may take time to appear, but the process of transformation starts immediately when you make the choice to step into it. Time does not negotiate. It does not pause while you sort out your fears. It does not stop while you decide if you are ready. It keeps moving, carrying both the prepared and the unprepared into the future. The only difference between those who advance and those who remain stuck is the decision to rise. Rising is not about the absence of fear. It is about the refusal to let fear dictate your life. Rising is not about having everything figured out. It is about choosing to step forward with what you know and trusting that the rest will reveal itself along the way. There are countless people who have allowed years, even decades, to pass while they told themselves, "One day I will change. One day I will follow my dream. One day I will pursue my purpose." But one day never comes, because one day is not a date on the calendar. It is a decision in the heart. The moment you choose to act, that is your one day. That is when the shift happens. You cannot control the pace of time, but you can control what you do with the time you are given. And the truth is, you already have everything you need to begin. When you rise, you signal to life that you are ready for more. Opportunities begin to appear not because time suddenly changes in your favor, but because your perspective changes. You begin to notice doors you ignored before, resources you overlooked, and strengths you never realized you had. Rising awakens what has been dormant inside of you. It sharpens your vision and focuses your energy. Instead of drifting with time, you start directing it, investing it, multiplying it. Every major transformation in history, whether in the life of an individual or in the life of a nation, began with a single decision. Someone chose to rise. They did not wait for ideal timing, they created it. They did not wait for circumstances to align. They moved in spite of them, and because they acted, change followed. The same principle applies to you. Your life will not shift by chance, it will shift by choice. It is important to remember that time can either be your greatest ally or your most ruthless enemy. Used wisely, it compounds, creating growth, progress, and impact. Wasted, it erodes potential and leaves behind only regret. Every person has the same 24 hours in a day, yet the results are vastly different depending on how those hours are invested. The difference lies not in time itself, but in the decisions made within it. To rise is to take authority over your moments. It is to declare that your past does not own your future, and that your current circumstances do not dictate your destiny. It is to look at the clock and say, I refuse to let another day pass without moving toward who I was created to be. That decision shifts everything because it transforms time from something that controls you into something you control. Change begins the moment you decide, not the moment conditions agree. That decision is powerful because it activates discipline, courage, and vision. And once you rise, time begins to serve you instead of slip away from you. The future does not belong to those who wait for it. It belongs to those who rise to meet it. Do you want me to also expand Keynote? No. 3. In the same style with 700 words, your purpose cannot be fulfilled by excuses. Action is the only path to destiny. Excuses are the comfortable shelter people run to when the weight of responsibility feels heavy. They sound reasonable, they feel protective, but in truth they are chains that quietly imprison potential. Every excuse, no matter how polished or convincing, is a declaration that you are surrendering your power to something outside yourself. Some say they cannot move forward because they lack money, others because they lack education, others because they lack support. But history is filled with examples of those who had none of these advantages and still broke through barriers. The difference was not in what they lacked, but in their refusal to let excuses decide their future. Excuses rob you of momentum. They create the illusion that you are thinking deeply, weighing your options, being wise with your timing. But behind that illusion is nothing but stagnation. Action, even imperfect action, creates movement, and movement creates clarity. Waiting while making excuses does nothing but bury your potential under layers of regret. Excuses give you comfort in the short term, but pain in the long term. They delay your progress and leave you stuck in the same place year after year, while the world keeps moving forward without you. Purpose requires responsibility. To fulfill what you were designed for, you must own your choices and your outcomes. Excuses shift responsibility onto others or onto circumstances, but purpose demands that you take it back. You cannot blame your past, your upbringing, or your environment forever. Those factors may have influenced you, but they do not define your final outcome. Many have risen from backgrounds of poverty, rejection, or hardship to accomplish great things, not because their circumstances were easy, but because their determination was stronger than their excuses. Action is the great separator between those who dream and those who achieve. Every person has dreams, but only those who act turn them into reality. Excuses keep dreams trapped in the realm of imagination. They give you reasons why you cannot, why you should not, why it is too hard, too risky, too uncertain. Action silences those voices because it demonstrates that progress is possible. Once you take a step, even a small one, you prove to yourself that the wall of excuses was only an illusion. Excuses often disguise themselves as logic. They say, "I'm not ready," "I don't have enough resources," or "it's not the right time." While they sound reasonable, they are rooted in fear. The truth is, no one ever feels fully ready. Resources multiply when you move. Timing becomes right because you decide it is right. The world does not reward those who wait for perfect conditions. It rewards those who create conditions by acting in faith. Every time you choose excuses over action, you are handing over a piece of your destiny. You are saying, "I would rather stay safe where I am than step into the unknown of who I could become." But greatness has never been born in safety. It is born in risk, in sacrifice, in the willingness to face discomfort for the sake of growth. Excuses may protect you from risk, but they also protect you from progress. They build a prison of comfort where nothing changes and nothing grows. Action is the language of commitment. You can talk about purpose, you can plan for purpose, you can even pray for purpose, but until you act, nothing comes alive. Faith without works is empty. Vision without movement is only fantasy. Purpose without action is wasted potential. Action is what breathes life into your ideas, your calling, and your destiny. Without it, you are only a spectator of your own possibilities. Excuses keep you trapped in the story of what happened to you. Action writes the story of what you will make happen for yourself. Excuses point to what is wrong. Action points to what can be done. Excuses look backward. Action looks forward. Excuses keep you powerless. Action reclaims your power. When you begin to act, you realize that your life is not limited by what you don't have, but by what you refuse to use. Purpose is too great to be delayed by excuses. There are people waiting for the gifts inside you, people whose lives will be touched, changed, or healed because you chose to rise. Every excuse you hold on to delays not only your future but theirs. When you act, you unlock doors for others as well as for yourself. That is why excuses are not just personal, they are generational thieves. They steal impact, influence, and legacy. Action is the only path to destiny. It does not have to be big, bold, or dramatic at first. Small, consistent steps build into massive breakthroughs over time, but you must begin. Excuses will never give you progress. They will only give you regret. Action, no matter how small, will lead you closer to your purpose. Destiny is not something you wait for. It is something you build day by day, choice by choice, step by step. And every step you take shatters another excuse that once tried to hold you back. Would you like me to expand Keynote? No. 4 next in the same deep motivational style. Reclaim your power by refusing to let circumstances, fear, or opinions control you. Life has a way of presenting obstacles, challenges, and disappointments that can make you feel powerless. Circumstances whisper that you are stuck, that you are trapped by your environment, your upbringing, or your lack of resources. Fear shouts that you are not good enough, that you will fail if you try, that you should stay where it feels safe. Opinions from others come to weigh you down, reminding you of your flaws, doubting your vision, or mocking your dreams. When you allow these voices to dominate your decisions, you hand over your authority to forces outside of you. You surrender your ability to shape your life, and in doing so, you reduce yourself to a victim of things you were always meant to rise above. Reclaiming your power is about remembering who you truly are. You are created with the capacity to think, to choose, and to act in ways that transcend your environment. Circumstances may limit your resources, but they cannot limit your determination unless you allow them to. Fear may knock at the door of your heart, but you decide whether or not it takes up residence. Opinions may surround you, but only you have the authority to define your identity. Power is not something that life gives you. It is something you awaken within yourself by refusing to bow to these external influences. Circumstances are temporary. What looks like an immovable wall today may crumble tomorrow if you keep pressing against it. Many people stay paralyzed because they confuse temporary conditions with permanent identity. They say, "I am poor," instead of "I am in a season of lack." They say, "I am broken," instead of "I am healing." They say, "I am trapped," instead of "I am learning how to find my way forward." When you define yourself by your circumstances, you reduce your potential to the level of your current struggle. But when you reclaim your power, you remind yourself that your circumstances are simply the stage on which your resilience and determination are tested. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. That response is where your power lies. Fear is perhaps the most subtle thief of power. It convinces you to shrink, to delay, to stay in the shadows. Fear makes you exaggerate risks and underestimate your strength. But fear is only as strong as the attention you give it. When you decide to act in spite of fear, you strip it of its authority. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is mastery over it. Every time you move forward while afraid, you weaken fear's grip and strengthen your own power. The more you act in courage, the smaller fear becomes until it no longer has a voice in your decisions. Opinions are another trap. The world is full of voices, and not all of them understand your vision. Some will criticize because they do not believe in you. Others will mock because they cannot see what you see. And some will even discourage you because they are afraid of what your success will expose about their own complacency. If you build your life on the foundation of opinions, you will always be unstable, shifting with every new voice that speaks. Reclaiming your power requires that you build your identity on something stronger. Your purpose, your values, your vision. When you know who you are and what you are called to do, opinions lose their control over you. Reclaiming your power is an act of responsibility. It means no longer blaming circumstances for your inaction, no longer blaming fear for your paralysis, no longer blaming others for your lack of progress. It means taking ownership of your choices and your direction. That ownership is liberating because it places the future back in your hands. You may not control everything that happens, but you control what you do next. That decision is where transformation begins. When you reclaim your power, you stop living as a reaction to life and start living as a creator in life. You stop allowing external forces to dictate your pace, your vision, or your confidence. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to grow stronger, fear as a signal that you are stepping into new territory, and opinions as background noise unworthy of your attention. This shift turns you from a passive spectator into an active participant in your own destiny. There will always be circumstances that test you, fears that try to paralyze you, and opinions that attempt to sway you. But your power lies in the ability to stand firm in the midst of them, to keep moving forward even when they press against you. That power is not given to you by others. It is awakened the moment you decide to stop surrendering to what you cannot control. The day you reclaim your power is the day you stop being at the mercy of life and start shaping life into the reflection of your purpose. Would you like me to now expand Keynote No? 5 in the same motivational flow, completing the full series. Greatness is already within you, but it can only grow through action, discipline, and consistency. Every human being carries the seed of potential planted deep within their soul. It is not something reserved for the few, nor is it given only to those with wealth, status, or privilege. Greatness is universal, but it is hidden in seed form. And just like a seed, it does not show its power while it sits dormant. Its beauty, its fruit, its strength are all invisible until it is placed in the ground, watered, and given the conditions to grow. Potential without cultivation remains buried, unseen, and unused. The same is true of the greatness within you. It will never be revealed unless you put it to work. Action is the first step in awakening that greatness. You cannot think your way into becoming who you are meant to be. You must move. Too many people spend their lives imagining what they could accomplish, but they never put their hands to the work. Imagination is a gift, but it was never meant to replace effort. Action is the bridge between vision and reality. When you act, even if the action feels small, you stir up the seed of greatness within you. Every step forward, every attempt, every decision to move breaks the ground that has kept your potential hidden. The more you act, the more the seed grows. Discipline is the nourishment that sustains growth. Just as a seed requires water and sunlight regularly, your potential requires consistent effort. Discipline means doing what is necessary even when you do not feel like it. It is choosing growth over comfort, purpose over distraction, and long-term gain over short-term pleasure. Without discipline, your actions become scattered and inconsistent, and greatness cannot take root in inconsistency. Discipline builds habits, and habits build character. The strength of your character is what allows you to carry the weight of your destiny once your greatness begins to manifest. Consistency is the force that compounds small efforts into extraordinary results. Greatness is rarely revealed in one grand moment. It is built day by day, decision by decision, action by action. When you are consistent, even the smallest effort multiplies over time. A single drop of water seems insignificant, but when it falls again and again, it shapes stone. A single stroke of a hammer may not break a rock, but after many strikes, the rock splits. It is not the size of the effort that matters most, but the persistence of it. Consistency transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary breakthroughs. The tragedy is not that people lack greatness. It is that they refuse to do what is necessary to uncover it. Many wait for inspiration, for motivation, or for a moment of magic to propel them forward. But inspiration fades, motivation rises and falls, and magic never comes. What remains is discipline and consistency. Those who succeed are not always the most talented or the most gifted, but they are the ones who show up every day, who act when others wait, who keep going when others quit. Greatness is not about a single act of brilliance, it is about a lifetime of commitment to growth. You already carry within you everything you need to rise. The seed of greatness was planted in you long before you were aware of it. But seeds left unattended eventually wither away. That is why action is urgent, why discipline is non-negotiable, and why consistency is vital. You cannot expect fruit if you never planted. You cannot expect strength if you never trained. You cannot expect destiny if you never acted. The greatness within you is waiting, but it will not wait forever. There will be challenges. There will be seasons when the ground feels hard, when progress feels slow, when results seem invisible. But those are the seasons that test your commitment. The seed does not sprout the day it is planted. Growth happens in the unseen soil before it breaks into the light. In the same way, your greatness is being developed in the hidden places, in the quiet consistency of your daily choices. Do not despise small beginnings, for they are the foundation of monumental outcomes. Action awakens, discipline sustains, and consistency multiplies. Together, they unlock the greatness that is already yours. The question is not whether you have greatness. It is whether you are willing to do what it takes to reveal it. And the moment you commit to acting, to living with discipline, and to remaining consistent, you step into the process that transforms hidden potential into visible destiny. Now you have all 5 keynotes fully expanded into 700 word motivational flows. Do you want me to help you combine them into a structured full speech series, almost like a book, style chapter flow? You were never created to live small, to be bound by excuses, or to wait endlessly for life to hand you the right conditions. The power to rise has always been inside you. Time is moving whether you act or not, and your destiny is waiting for you to step forward. Stop waiting for perfect moments and begin creating them. Refuse to surrender your future to fear, circumstances, or the opinions of others. Instead, reclaim your authority, take action, and cultivate the discipline and consistency that will unlock the greatness within you. The world does not need another dream left unfulfilled, another vision buried by hesitation, or another purpose abandoned to regret. The world needs your gift, your courage, your persistence. The future is not promised, but today is in your hands. So rise now, step boldly into the life you were designed to live, and as you do, you will discover that you were never waiting for life to change. Life was always waiting for you to awaken and reclaim your power.